Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is Virtual Nunchucks. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope this video finds you well, and I hope that you will enjoy this. My impressions of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Is it worth it? No. We're talking about a game that is officially 14 years old this year. 14 years ago, 2007, this trilogy started. But if you like branching paths, if you like story-driven dialogue, character choices, and how you play the character, how the universe is affected by your choices, and all that stuff. If you like branching dialogue, all that, then you owe this trilogy, and you owe the one that came before, the two games that came before, Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2, which were also made by BioWare. That time frame was a perfect time frame for that, because it gave us the branching story paths, it gave us characters that actually, were affected by our choices, it gave us plot points that carried over to the next game, it gave us all kinds of crazy stuff, and it was, back in the day, in 2007, it was an amazing feat. But now, is it still worth playing in the modern setting? We're going to talk about that. First, let's talk about what I'm not going to do. I'm going to talk about mostly Mass Effect 1 in this video, because I've spent the last 30 plus hours of my life playing Mass Effect 1 in the remastered version. I do know about Mass Effect 2 and 3 and the changes they have made there. I also do know about the trilogy as a whole, because I played it way back in the day. I also played the first Knights of the Old Republic as well, so I do have quite a bit of knowledge of this trilogy and how it used to play out, what it used to look like, kind of stuff like that, because I played it. So I will tell you what we've changed and if it's worth the time, and I will tell you what has not changed, and if it's worth going back for. Now first, I'm just going to flat out say it. If you're a super fan, there's no way in the world you're not going to play this game. Okay? If you've been playing Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, you played Andromeda, you do the cosplay stuff, if you do, if you've read the books, you're gonna play this game. If you don't, I'll be surprised. Okay? Because it's Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna play it. All the DLC for all three games are included in the game, whether you got the physical or the digital version. They are included with the exception of one. Pinnacle Station for Mass Effect 1 is not included, but that wasn't because they didn't want to, but because the original game code had been corrupted at the source, so there was no way they could add it. So that's an issue that they could not fix. So that particular section of Mass Effect 1 is missing. However, the asteroid that nearly hits a human colony and yet introduces the Batarians, what is the name of that one? Fire in the Sky or something like that. That one is there, so you can actually play that particular mission, and it does have some consequences that carry over to Mass Effect 2 and 3. So yeah, alright, so here you go. If this is your first time, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just suffice it to say that you're a commander in the Alliance military, which is a human branch of the Space Navy, if you will, and you are tasked with taking out a rogue agent for the Council, which is the ruling body of the universe in this particular game, and you're tasked with taking him out and bringing him to justice because he did something very, very bad, and you're going to save the galaxy in the process. Pretty cool. The plot itself, it sounds paper thin, but it's really, really not. There's a lot of intrigue in this game. There's a lot of character development, and the squad members you pick up, it's just crazy. Alright, so all for those of you who have played before, all of the things that you love are here. The characters are here, the options, all the dialogue, all of that, it's all here, and the character development, the stuff we fell in love with, the going and exploring, it's here. The combat, which is something that you didn't fall in love with, especially in Mass Effect 1, it's here, and it's got some improvements to it, but if you're looking for a massive improvement to a combat in Mass Effect 1, it's just not going to happen. What they've done is they've improved the lighting effects and the texturing effects, which is why I'm showing this particular scene off, because this is the volcanic world, and it looks awesome, man. There's a lot more lighting, your armor and stuff reflects a little bit more and reacts to the lighting a little bit better. and it just looks gorgeous. Eden Prime, yes, it's not as muted as before. In the original game, it was red. It had a red hue because of the attack on the planet, but they brightened it up a little bit. They did a little more sunshine and stuff like that, so it's a little bit more bright. But I have to say, for me personally, that is an actual plus, because I can remember walking around on this game and thinking, man, there are suns on planets, right? And there should be lighting in certain areas because I'm outside, and there's just not. And that was because of the limitations of the hardware at the time. Now, some people will say that is, that added to the overall aesthetic of the game, the mood of the game, the sense of urgency and foreboding and stuff like that, because it was a big, major, attack on a planet or whatever, and the whole atmosphere of the game, the lighting and all that stuff, kind of added to that sense of urgency, that sense of dread, that sense of fear and all that stuff. But I kind of agree with you, but I think the lighting choices that they've made are good choices, okay? They didn't go back in and just remake everything. They just went back to the original code and they remastered it. They touched it up, made it look a little bit better. And I think the choices that they made for the time frame that we're in and for the modern consoles is a good idea. Now, to be fair, for those of you who are wondering, I played this game, or have been playing this game, on performance mode on PS5. So I am running at, for the performance mode, I think it's around a guaranteed 30 frames a second. For visual mode, not performance mode. Performance mode, I can get 60 frames. For you guys on Xbox 360, Xbox Series X and S, you can get up to 120 frames at 1440p, which is kind of cool. I can get 60 frames at 1440 if I wanted to, but that's a trade-off that I'm willing to take. I went for the graphic fidelity of the game to see how the visuals stacked up. I am playing on a 1080p television, so I do not have a 4K display, so that's just for your information. But I can tell you what I am seeing is fantastic. There are some changes that have been made to this game that I don't like in the visual standpoint, and I'll show you a couple of screenshots of that. For example, some of the faces some of the faces that you have look fantastic. I mean, your Shepard, whether you're male or female, looks a little bit better. The Fem Shep from Mass Effect 3 is your default female Shepard. But Shepard looks a little bit better. The characters, in a general sense, they look better. Their textures look better. Tali, for example, jumps out at me because her hood, her textures on her armor, the metal actually shines where it should because it's metal and it should have some kind of sheen to it. The textures look a little bit better in my opinion. Garrus looks a little bit better. His skin, it looks a little bit more like, an actual being's skin, has a little bit more texture to it. It's kind of cool. But the one thing that they did do to Captain Anderson, I mean, jeez, what happened to your face, dude? From the original trilogy. I know that they were using the original source code and they were trying to just simply touch it up, but dude, they gave Captain Anderson a facelift that he didn't need, and dang. I'm sorry, Cap. That's just not right. But anyway, other than that, that's the only facial expression and the only face that I was like, why did you do that to that man? But, there are going to be things that you go about in every game, and that's going to be mine now, because Captain Anderson is my hero, and they made him look like he had plastic surgery, and it failed badly. Okay, anyway. Other than that, this game looks cool. They've added some quality of life improvements that I'm really happy about. The gear system, for example, has this option to give you now a junk option. So if you have a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need and you're at a vendor, you can mark it all as junk and then sell it right away and get your credits. Or if you need Omnigel for that wonderful console you can't seem to hack because your electronics skill isn't high enough, or if you fail a minigame, you have plenty of options for getting more Omnigel very, very quickly with that junk option. And I appreciate that. That's a little bit of quality of life improvement. Speaking of the hacking and and the bypasses and the surveying mini games, the little button presses that highlight and all that stuff. On the original game on PC and on Xbox 360, it worked fantastic. When they ported it over to PlayStation 3, especially in the first game, when you were going to do your bypasses and all that kind of stuff, it didn't work. You pushed the button and you automatically failed. It didn't matter if you pushed the right button or the wrong button. You failed. You had to go around with Omnigel all the time. So you were constantly going through your inventory on PS3, and you were constantly trying to get rid of the stuff that you didn't need all the time, just so you could have enough Omnigel to bypass a system or a door or something to get more gear, which was insane. And I hated that, but thankfully, thank God they went back in and they have fixed that, so you have no problems now with bypassing or surveying or anything like that when you do the little mini game. That is perfect. So much so that I actually maxed out my inventory last night, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go back through here and actually weed out some of this inventory I don't need, because I was so used to having to do that in my initial playthrough way back in the day that I just didn't even think about it this time, because I'm having so much joy just being able to actually have the game function like it should. So I wasn't even paying attention to my inventory until last night. So it is what it is. Now, all these changes for Mass Effect 1, from the textures to the lighting to the the quality of life improvements that they've made, I like them. There's not a lot that I don't like other than Captain Anderson's face. It looks a lot more like a current gen game. Now don't expect this game to look like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X game. It's not going to. They just did a facelift for the original code, and for what they've done, it's good. Okay, but like I said, if you're looking for some epic remake like Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's not here. This is a true remaster, and if the things you liked in the original trilogy are here, the things you didn't like are here. The Mako has been redesigned. They do give you thrusters and stuff like that to help with climbing hills and stuff like that, which is cool. But it's still clunky. It's still a pain in the butt to drive. So if you're looking for some massive improvement on the Mako, it's just not here. What is here is all the characters, the plot, everything that you love about the game. And if you never played it before, I don't know what to tell you, man. This is one of the best stories and options. There's options for everything. If you want to, I don't recommend this, but if you want to punch a reporter for being a jerk, you can. If you just want to be a jerk in general, you can. If you want to be a paragon, you can. If you want to romance one of your crew members and get to know them and flesh out the characters and become friends with these people, you can. The story is fantastic to play, and the story is here. All the DLC is here. So if you're one of those people that have never tried it before, okay, or say, I don't like that, I don't really care for that. Well, here's the thing. If you never tried it before, it's kind of like your mom with your broccoli, okay? When you were sitting at the table as a kid and you're like, I don't like broccoli because it's green and it's got leaves, or it's got, whatever, and it looks funny. I don't eat it. I don't like it. And your mom says, how do you know if you don't like it if you don't try it? And you're not getting up from this table until you try it. If you try it and you don't like it, then you can go, then that's one thing. But if you haven't tried it, how do you know? And now you have no excuse, because all the DLC is here for all of the original games, and it's an all-in-one package for you. It's cleaned up so it looks a little bit more along the lines of a current gen game, and I think you should try it. If you've never played it before, if you just wondered what all this fuss was about with N7 Day and everybody doing all the cosplays and the reading the books and playing the games and talking about it for the last 14 plus years, then this is your chance to find out what all the fuss is about. The original ending for Mass Effect 3 is officially not canon. What is canon is the director's cut version. That will be effectively canon, and if you want the best ending possible for your game at the end of the trilogy, instead of having multiplayer in Mass Effect 3, the Galactic Readiness option will be tallied based on how you performed in all 3 games. So if you've done a lot in all 3 games, if you've done mostly everything in all 3 games, you're going to get the good ending. If not, you might get something else. So keep that in mind. The multiplayer is not here. However, there have been reports that they are not opposed to putting it in there, but it just depends on how well this Legendary Edition sells, and if they have the resources to do that, they may come back and look at it at some point and insert it later. But that is a maybe, so please don't take that as a grain of salt. But yeah, I mean, if you've played it before, you know what's here. If you haven't played it before, I am not going to spoil it for you, but it is one of the best overarching stories for 3 games I've ever played. And I think it's worth your time if you're into story choices and your choices affecting how the story plays out. If you're into character development and the characters and the universes and having these big sprawling open worlds and sprawling narratives, then this is the game for you. If not, then I can't sell it to you. Yeah. Because you have your own choices. But if you're one of those people who are like I said before, little kid at the table, I don't like broccoli because it looks funny, then shame on you. But if you tried it and you didn't like it before, you're not going to like it now. It looks prettier, it plays nicer, in certain aspects, but it's not going to just blow you away. It's just not. So that's my 2 cents on the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I think it's worth your time if you've never played it before, or if you just don't have your PlayStation 3 or your Xbox 360 laying around and you can't play it anymore. Then this will be, this will be your chance to get it again and play it. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I forgot how much I liked the game until I started playing around with it and making some choices and playing with certain characters and listening to their jokes, because I haven't played this since Mass Effect 3, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. But that's my 2 cents. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have played it, if you're enjoying it, or if you're just going to pass on this one because you played it before. I understand, but let me know. And if you're one of those kids, that was the broccoli guy, then let me know if I helped you decide if you're going to try it or not. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook.com/virtualnunchucks, over on Twitter @BNunchucks, and of course, Twitch.tv/virtualnunchucks. Also, tomorrow we're going to be doing, giving you guys a little bit of news, because I haven't done one of those in a while. And we're also going to be talking about what we're going to be doing going forward, because this week I'm actually getting my furniture, so this weekend I'm going to have to do a few changes to the channel for a day or two, because we're having stuff moved out so we can move stuff back in. It's kind of crazy around here, so yeah, be looking for that. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.